You're my greatest and my latest, my greatest inspiration. Hello, everyone. I think I joined here too early. It's supposed to start at 6. I started earlier because I wanted to get the headphones. I believe the mic issue has now been resolved. Ooh. The one thing I need to figure out how to do is how to get my camera a bit brighter for the non-makeup wearing girlies like myself. I know a lot of people are mortified coming in front of a camera without any makeup on. I don't care. I don't care. Hold. Ooh. One thing I need to figure out how to do is how to get my camera a bit bright. Okay. Hello, everyone. So I joined way earlier than I thought. To be fair, I didn't intend on going live. I was just setting up. I mistakenly pressed start broadcasting. I should have just said start the broadcast. Then with OBS you can press go live after. But my dumbass pressed start the broadcast and go live. So we're here now. Hello, everyone. How are you? I am not known for my earliness, so notorious. I was forced to be punctual on time today. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, guys. Yet the end to another week. We are grateful. We are grateful because a lot of people did not get to see the end of this week, even though they started. A lot of people started the week optimistic, ended the week on a bad note. A lot of people, you know, this has not been a good week for a lot of people. So if you're still standing, if you have your head, your soul, your 2 feet, you should be grateful. We are grateful. Yeah. We are grateful for good health. We are grateful for sound mind, as sound a mind as we can have in this crazy world that we're living in today. Well, yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a good week because we've seen the end of it. I hope everybody is doing okay. I hope everybody is having a good one. I hope you're taking care of yourself, your mental health. I hope you are, being healthy, making good choices. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get comfortable on this chair. Oh my god. Like I said last week, my recording room, I'm doing some work in it. So I should be back up there as soon as I get a way to be comfortable. What I found is I have a rocking chair in that room, guys. I'm trying to get some. That room is like my art room, and the sofa, the rocking chair makes me a bit too comfortable. I've seen myself sometimes dozing off while talking to you guys, so I'm trying to see if I can make it as relaxed as possible without passing out, if you know what I mean. So bear with me. Some work is underway. How's everybody doing? Just giving it a few minutes, guys. Before we get into it, I said I'm going to do a segment right at the beginning of the lives where we can laugh a bit. I find some weird nonsense on the internet and I bring it for us to kind of not laugh, but kind of have a mini debate about it before we get into the story as a way to kind of break the ice. And, I want you guys to be relaxed because a lot of the things that we talk about here, even though I try to bring some humor into it, it can be stressful. And I do not want to be the place that you come to and feel stressed. So let me see what my main screen is showing. If you can, guys, please engage with the chat. This is how we build up the algorithm. Please engage with the chat. Drop a message, drop a like. If you're so inclined, the super chat. All of the things we are doing is just a way for us to get engagement on the live so that it can build the algorithm. I can get more subscribers. If you're joining for the first time, hello, 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 hello. My name is N for Nneka. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, because my channel is a disorganized mess, it's primarily discussions about Duchess Meghan and Prince Harry. This is not a deranger site. As you can tell, I'm a big fan, and I drag the rest of the royal family because I think the family is a disgrace, and the royal family as it exists, the British royal family as it exists today, is an abomination. But yeah, primarily I'm just here to give you tea, royal news, keep you up to speed with the shenanigans and the goings-ons. So if you enjoy that type of content, please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. So, let me try and do this. You can see what's on my page, can't you? Let me just check that. Okay, I've moved it from my face. Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to do a little bit of funny. I'm going to do a funny before we get to the story itself. As you can see from the topic, we're going to this live is a roundup of the week. We are rounding up all the shenanigans that have happened this week. We're going to be talking about Prince Harry and his case. We've had 2 lives already about it, I'll be honest, which is more than I wanted to do. But I felt like the case is so emotional and it's such an interesting topic. I felt we should, keep our breast, especially since Harry flew all the way, left his family and kids to come to the UK to bring attention to this case. Because let's keep it 500%. If Harry was not testifying, the British press would try and bury it because they don't like to tell people about the fact that that members of the press are being taken to court for unscrupulous behavior. Again, part of the machine that we talk about when we talk about the disgusting and disgraceful way the British press are allowed to, operate. So Harry did a big one coming to the UK, staying a week. And I think the majority of the week he's been attending the trial itself, even when he didn't have to testify, which just goes to show the type of allyship he has with the other celebrities that are taking the ANL group or Daily Mail group to court. So yeah, I feel the least we can do is to at least keep our eyes on it. Now, as I said, I'm going to do something pretty light before we start because you Americans are hilarious. So what you're seeing on your screen is just something that I thought was quite funny. I can't play the sound, obviously, but what's happening in that video? One sec. what's happening in the video is apparently there's some sort of a meme going around of people buying. I didn't even know you could buy cheesecake in a container. Americans, what the hell? I didn't know you could do that. I can't play the sound, but basically, oh shit. I'm not supposed to be playing the sound, so I'm going to have to. Let me just put the sound down. Yeah, play it again. Yeah. So basically, you can see this lady. She bought a tub of cheesecake. She's putting Biscoff biscuits into it, and even from the size of her hand, you know this is not a slim lady. And she's putting even more Biscoff. Oh my god! And putting caramel topping on top of it. And she's put the cover the lid on it. Maybe put it in the fridge or something. And somebody is going to eat this as a dessert. Big back activities. So it's just kind of like, what is going on? Look, you know what? Not to judge anyone, right? The world is crazy. And if eating highly unhealthy snacks is the way many of us can get through our day to day, you know what? I am not here to judge. Do your thing. I have juice here because now the conversation is about to start. Guys, don't forget to engage in the chat, please. It's not just watching me and my makeup less face. Engage in the chat, please. So, I'm going to start off by recapping what's been happening over the week with Prince Harry. For those of you that have missed it, Prince Harry was in the UK, is in the UK this week. They had a thread they were maintaining on it. Let me open this up because I don't know what's happened to the thread now. I don't know if they've removed it or they've stopped it because these people are idiots. I think they've removed it actually. I think what they've done is they've got all the information that they need. After Prince Harry's testimony, they appear to not give a shit anymore, which is a shame. Let me refresh and see if the thread still exists. Yeah. So we're going to be recapping. Don't worry, we're not starting from the beginning, but I'll give you a full kind of rundown of where we are from the previous days. As mentioned, Prince Harry came to court to give a live testimony of the treatment and the trauma he suffered thanks to Daily Mail. Some of the things that he called out was, and this is not limited to phone hacking, phone tapping, and blagging. Phone hacking is very clear and very direct. You are hacking into somebody's phone or voicemail. Phone tapping is you are able to interfere with their phone, maybe by leaving a bug in it, or you found a way to have direct. You are able to get into their phone, basically, which I believe was which I believe was the thing the British press used to do quite extensively. When people had landlines, they would place bugs. They were able to access your phones through phone operators, and I think the earlier versions of cell phones made it easier for them to hack into people's phones, which of course they took advantage of to, as you've seen, to get personal information, private calls. It was just, CIA level stuff. And we debated about how immoral it was, how criminal it was, the height of invasion, and I don't want us to diminish the severity of what was done. I want you to think about it right now. Many of us cannot exist without our phones, right? You get your phone calls, you get your messages, you keep in touch with family and friends, you do your banking on your phone. Many of us use phones for entertainment. We game with our phone, we blog with our phone, our phone is our friend. The phones have been set up to become an addiction for a large number of us, right? Now imagine you watch porn with your phone. Now imagine somebody breaks into your phone They can access your banking details. They can access your personal messages to your friends, families, and loved ones. They can see all the content you are looking at on your browser. They can see what films you watch. It's just, it's the height of invasion. It is not acceptable. It is not justifiable. It is criminal. There's no way you want to twist it. It is criminal. Even when you are guilty of actual crimes, ladies and gentlemen, the government can't just access your phone. They need your consent, right? People can't just go into your phone and do what they like. Yeah? So for the British media to abuse access the way they have is egregious. And I know the British media is trying to downplay it because they have to protect themselves and their colleagues. But we as a people, we know better. We know it's wrong. And that is why what Harry and other brave celebrities, Liz Hurley, Elton John, Baroness Doreen Lawrence, and others, what they are doing is very brave. And let me tell you what is at stake here. At least £40 million is at stake. That's not chicken change. And it is not easy to bring these types of cases because, one, the cost. Because you see, if you don't have enough evidence and you lose, you owe the person you've brought to court damages as well as their legal fees. This is not a joke. This is very serious. And despite the nonsense that you hear in the media, the losing party, which from the past has been the press, it does have a knock-on effect on how the press operates. If you lose that much money, you might have to close up shop. Look at what happened to News of the World. Yeah, you might have to close up shop. A lot of the journalists that work for you will lose their jobs because you can't afford to pay them anymore. You are in debt, reputational damage, and in many cases, if the crimes you've been accused of, if you're found liable, if people hate you that much and the government is paying that much attention, they could bring criminal charges. This is not a minor thing. This is not a small thing. This is a very serious case. And that is why the British media, who already go out of their way to discredit people like Harry and Meghan, are doing everything in their power to discredit Harry now. Like, you hear a lot of comments from people. They are pushing the narrative of what Harry is doing is going to affect the free press. It's going to harm the free press. The press should, because Harry and these people are public figures, the people have a right to know what they are up to. But I think we as a people, I think we are smarter than that. Like I said, almost anybody nowadays can pick up a phone, get good lighting, a mic, and become a content creator, right? So to some extent, but even as a content creator, even if you're putting your face out there, many of us are not using our real names. We're not using our real locations. We expect, because many of us are hosted on platforms like YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, we expect these companies to keep our personal information private, right? We want to reach you, but we are only sharing things that we want to share with you. Does that make sense? Just because you like your favorite content creator might have thousands of followers does not give you the right to take more information than they are willing to share with you. That's why what the press has done, I call it a violation. Every human being, regardless of popularity, notoriety, or privacy, deserves privacy. Neka you're seeing here is different from Neka you see day to day. I deserve my privacy. I deserve to only share with you what I am willing to share with you. So does Prince Harry. So does Liz Hurley. So does Baroness Doreen Lawrence. So does Elton John. Hell, so does the royal family. Because I keep telling people, just because we see people in front of a TV or in front of a camera, we are human beings. We bleed, we cry, we stress out, we have bills to pay. We are people too. And if you can't have empathy or sympathy, then what are we doing here? The British media have overstepped. And the excuses that they've given in court for why they overstepped are ridiculous. They say things like the public interest. We've already spoken about the public interest. They say things like, oh, Harry actually had relationships with us. Harry said, no, I didn't. What? We knew. And he even went far as to say, the people who were my genuine friends knew you for who you were. And by you, I'm referring to the journalists. The journalists named so far Rebecca English, who is now the royal editor of the Daily Mail, Katie Nichols, that bricked-faced twat who I see popping up in some random TV shows. You see her mainly on Channel 5 in documentaries. And I think just like Rebecca English, she has her own, channel where she's publishing nonsense about the British royal family, because that's what many of them end up doing. These people are all social climbers, hanger-ons, groupies, basically, who are trying so hard to have access to the British royal family because they feel entitled to them. Because, guys, I want us to always make that distinction. These people are not journalists. A journalist, a trained journalist, knows that they have ethical bounds they cannot breach. Right? A trained journalist tries to be objective rather. You are there to report the news. Nothing more, nothing less. Nobody wants to hear your opinion. Nobody wants to hear your feelings on the matter. You are meant to tell me, what color is this wall? Brown. That's it. That's all. I don't need anything else from you. But because a lot of people nowadays, thanks to social media and this inherent I think social media has created, I don't like using the word narcissism because I think that word is very much abused, but it's created this need for people to be the star of their own story. I want to be the star of my own story. I can't, do you know there was a time when journalists just reported the news and you didn't even know what they looked like? Unless they were quite popular. But nowadays, every journalist wants to be the star of their own show. And I wouldn't just say even nowadays, because this where we are today with journalism, it started from the past. It started from 20 years ago. Because why the hell are you paying a private company to hack into people's phones? What are you so desperate to know that you can't you've already gone out of your way to build these relationships with these people? Why do you need to go out of your way to dig deeper like that? If you're somehow able to get into the company of any member of the royal family, you have done, especially as somebody who claims to be a journalist, you have done what you needed to do. But going as far as listening in on their calls, stalking them, trying to find out where they are going to be, showing up without permission, that is harassment. You are scaring people. And that's the other thing that they were accused of, guys. Blagging. Blagging is, not only are you trying to hack my phone, not only are you trying to tap my phone, you are so determined to get any type of information about me that you are going to go sniffing around for people who have access to me. You're going to establish some sort of a relationship with them so that you can get even more information from me, which is insanity in my mind. It's crazy. It is crazy behavior. It's entitled behavior. Because, again, I know Harry is wealthy. I know all these people we're talking about are wealthy. But put yourself in their shoes. People are not entitled to get more information than you're willing to share. Period. Especially if they don't know you. That's why when some of you overshare at work, I just stare at some of you. I'm like, really? Work is work. Life is life. What the British press have done is bad. And they're getting whacked for it. And that's what this case is about. Calling out the mistakes of the past. And since the British press will not hold themselves accountable, they have forced these individuals suing them to court to do the legwork. They have forced them to go searching for evidence. They forced them to go searching for people to speak up. And if you've been traumatized, you understand how traumatic that is. And that is why Harry's testimony was so powerful. Because if Harry was not part of this case, guys, it's very possible, I said it before, that this case may not even have gone to trial. So Harry, by being part of this case, as well as getting his justice, is also doing a public service. And that's why he's the best member of the royal family. Because Harry has literally said, I don't care. I am going to burn this mother down so that we can do better as a society. People are not supposed to be invading people's privacy like this. I don't care who you are. And the British media have gone too far, and now they are facing their whackings, as they should. And that's what this case is about. So you can see here that they were the British, and this is the point I'm trying to make, guys. Look at this. They actually had a live thread. They had a live thread about Prince Harry. As soon as Harry testified, their interest in this case vanished. They stopped populating that thread. Why? The case is still ongoing. Why stop? Why stop reporting on it? And this is why Harry needed to be part of this case. That's why he needed to come to the UK, because if he hadn't, we wouldn't have heard from Liz Hurley. I don't even think they're reporting on anybody beyond Liz Hurley. I don't think they're reporting on Doreen Lawrence. Because ultimately, even though this is a very severe case, it's all about the money. Yeah? They went after Harry because Harry has the buzz. Harry brings the SEO. Completely ignoring the fact that this is a case about press ethics and accountability. Just a disgrace, frankly. So we've spoken about Harry. I want to quickly talk about. Let me talk about this one, Liz Hurley, because her case really hurt me. Again, I would talk about. I would genuinely would love to talk about all of them, but I don't think they are reporting it. They've said everything they want to say about Harry, and they don't care anymore. Let me see, Liz Hurley. Prince Harry, has your evidence strengthened your case? Prince Harry, has your evidence strengthened your case? You see how unserious people. Don't worry, I'll still play news article, but let me read from this. Then we can go to the news articles. Elizabeth Hurley has claimed that private investigators working for the Daily Mail bugged her landline and placed microphones on her home window to get stories in what she described as a brutal invasion of privacy. The actress became tearful on Thursday as she gave evidence in her case at the High Court against the paper's publisher, much of which focuses on articles written about her son, Damien. I mean, can you imagine how horrible that is? She told the court that the alleged activity was a violation on a whole different, mortifying, and enraging scale. She is one of the 7 high profile claimants accusing Associated Newspapers Limited of grave breaches of privacy over a 20-year period. The publisher has denied wrongdoing. Hurley's claim related to 15 articles published between 2002 and 2011, which she says ANL willfully exploited my stolen information using its arsenal of illegal means. 5 of those were about Damien and his late father, film producer Steve Bing. She alleges the Mail stole her medical information while she was pregnant with her son, who she calls the center of her world. One story published the day after Damien's birth in 2002 included details about Hurley's hospital stay. Others focused on payments being made to Hurley and his refusal to see their son. Yet again, on Thursday, Hurley told the court, I felt really mortified that my son will be able to read all this stuff one day. And I feel really bad that day is today when all this stuff is being regurgitated again. Yet again, everyone's privacy is being invaded in this terrible way, and I feel very helpless about it. She is also claiming for 10 more articles, which were written by journalists who were commissioning other private investigators to do similar unlawful things, she said in her statement. When shown some of the articles relating to her claim, she became tearful in court, wiped her eyes and nose with a tissue. In tears, she said it had been deeply hurtful to read the statement of a private investigator, Gavin Burrows, who Hurley alleges admitted bugging and listening to all my conversations. Hurley told the court on Thursday that she had learned about Burrows' statement just before Christmas 2020. He has denied he made it and claimed the signature on the document was false. He's the one, guys, that released a whole statement on X. So I don't understand how he can say that the statement, his signature was forged. Just a deeply unserious person. Hurley said in her witness statement that discovering the alleged phone tapping was what devastated me. I had not come across this brutal invasion of privacy in either of my two battles with the newspapers. It wasn't just the phone hacking, it was a violation on a whole different, mortifying, and enraging scale. She became emotional as she concluded her evidence, saying she found it traumatic to be in court. With respect, I don't want to be here, she told her lawyer, and said it was very painful to discuss the events of the past. When asked in the witness box why she had not previously taken action against the publisher, clock it, guys, because this is what they also asked Harry. Holly said it was because, from what she remembered, complaints were for libel and the articles were, in a sense, true. Clock it. Clock it. I kept this comment because I wanted to speak about this. I believe that people were listening to me speak, she told the court. It was put to her by Anthony White, KC for ANL, that there had been leaks in your camp which had led to stories, and she agreed that she had initially thought that. But Hurley insisted that none of her close friends would have spoken to the press without her permission. Challenged about a 2001 story in Hello magazine, the barrister pointed out that two friends had been quoted talking about her. They would never say anything indiscreet about me. Another claimant, Duke of Sussex, was seen entering the court after a spokesman said he will be present to support and show solidarity. I'll jump to this part because this is very interesting. So the White, which is the solicitor for ANL, he said the claimants are clutching at straws and that the claims have been brought too late. Note this is their defense, ladies and gentlemen. They aren't saying that they didn't do anything. They are saying that it's too late. Clutching at straws is not a defense. Privacy cases must be brought within 6 years of the alleged breach, unless victims can show they could not bring a case at the time. They have literally just told you that they didn't know that they were being hacked until around 2020. So how could they have brought it sooner? White argued that the reporters behind the stories had provided a compelling account of a pattern of legitimate sourcing of articles, saying that in some cases, celebrity friends and social circles contributed as sources to Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday journalists. In court on Wednesday, he suggested Prince Harry knew his social circle was leaky. To which the prince, giving evidence, responded, "My social circles were not leaky. I want to make that absolutely clear." Prince Harry was also visibly emotional in the witness box as he told the publisher that they made his wife's life an absolute misery. I am not particularly sure why we are discussing Harry in an article about Liz Hurley, but hopefully you can see the pattern of behavior here, guys. This case is about Liz Hurley and other claimants, but because they are chasing SEO, even with a case this severe, they can't help themselves. They have to bring in Prince Harry. And did you see the arguments? Very similar to what we heard about Prince Harry. The suggestion that the way they acquired this information was not by illegally tapping people's phone. Oh no, we got it from your friends. Okay, which friend? You're saying it's my friend that told you. Which friend? Name names. You're saying that my friend told you this news and you didn't hack. Give me a name. I clocked it on, I think, Wednesday and Monday. I clocked it on Monday on Wednesday that I loved what Harry said. Harry said, are you suggesting that you got this information from my friends? So name names. Because you see, if you bring me to court and you accuse me of criminality, and I'm like, no, I didn't get it that way. I didn't steal your information. I didn't hack your phone. I didn't blag. Your friends told me. You best believe I will name names. Unless I don't want to name names. because I am trying to preserve the relationship with the person that gave me that information. And this is, in my opinion, part of this is very likely for Prince Harry's case. I believe that while I do believe there was hacking and blagging and tapping, I also believe, and I think they kind of dropped a hint about it, that a lot of information they got that was true. Because don't miss the point of this, guys. The British media, because they were able to hack into people's information or have people leak information to them, they were reporting facts. They will happily tell you that we were reporting the facts, we weren't lying. Because to them, it's more important to say that I only report the facts than to admit that the way they sought these factual articles was criminal. And that is the part when people ask me about this case, I always say the part that I am very interested in is I want to know if they are more interested in avoiding criminal liability, which if they are genuinely found to be liable of phone hacking and tapping, they could be referred for criminal charges. I want to know if it is more important to them to reserve that relationship with the British royal family, because I know a lot of the articles they got it from Kensington Palace, Windsor Palace, Buckingham Palace. Are they more determined? Are they more, do they see it as worth their while to protect the royal family and take the hit for actual criminality? Hopefully I'm making sense. Hopefully I'm making sense, chat. Hopefully I'm making sense, chat. Hi, Bellatrix. Hi, Abby. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Janet. Sam. How's everybody doing? I'm just catching up with the chat now. Exactly. I can't imagine being a parent and having being somebody's child and reading about all the stuff I've read about from the media. It's madness. It's madness, guys. And I love that she said it. I love that she said it right there. That it's very traumatic for her hearing her son read about this stuff. And this is the part these clowns don't seem to understand. Print what you want. But remember, they have children. They have family. They have friends. How would you feel if you're Googling your mom's name or your dad's name and you're seeing articles upon articles about them, insulting them, their personal information in public, things they probably never wanted you to know? And that's why this is very important to me as a squad member, and I'm sure it's important to you, squaddies. One day, Archie will have a phone and will be independently scouring information about his mother. And I don't think any amount of preparation will prepare him for what he is going to see. And I want you to think about how this is going to affect him as a person. Because right now, Archie is in a bubble with his mom and his dad and his family and his friends. But Archie is going to become an adult one day, a young teenager, and he will have a phone. And he will be of independent mind. And imagine, guys, if he didn't even see it himself, it's his friends in schools that tell him, yo, see what they're saying about your mom. or Princess Lily. We are already seeing the impact. Look at Liz Hurley and her beautiful son. How do you think he must have felt? Because from what I've known of Liz Hurley, of her son, he is very close to his mother. He's extremely close to his mother. And that thing that happened with his father, that trauma that his dad put him through, rejecting him, refusing to give him his inheritance. Imagine the culmination of all that toxicity, all that energy. How do you think Damien must be feeling? These are human beings. I keep saying this. Whether you like Harry, whether you like Meghan, I don't give a shit. Whether you hate them even. You cannot allow the press to dehumanize people. There are people like I don't like. I don't like Kate Middleton because I believe that she contributed to hurting Meghan. I don't like William. I don't like King Charles. I don't like Camilla. But I have never dehumanized. But even when I'm dragging them, I always regulate myself because I'm like, I hate these people. I really, really do not like these people. But for me, there's something called a step too far. That's why I don't talk about them every day. Because it is a step too far. I can't imagine throwing negativity at somebody every day. I don't have it in me. I'll drag you, but I'll keep it pushing. But to release article after article insulting you, twisting information about you, I don't have it in me. I'm sorry. I really don't have it in me. That level of negativity is too bad. Also, I see these people as human beings. This idea that just because somebody is a millionaire or a celebrity, they should expect that you invade their privacy. They should expect that you're going to insult them day in and day out. Nah, we need to do better as a society. I'm sorry. And we need to actually call each other out. Call me out if I go too far. Because for the many benefits of social media, the way many people hide behind the screen and use it as an excuse to tear people apart, nah. What you can't say to somebody's face, this is how I move, right? What you can't say to somebody's face, you probably shouldn't be saying it online. Me, if I saw Kate today, I will ask her. I will tell her, "Ma'am, you are too skinny. You are alarmingly skinny, and I believe you have an eating disorder. Do you have an eating disorder? Do you need help? Because this body image you are sharing is unhealthy." I will say that to her face, and I don't think I'm being rude. She wouldn't like to hear it, but it's the truth. And I also said to her face, I think you're lazy. I think it's preposterous that you don't work. You have all that privilege, and I don't see what you're using that privilege to do. You're not bettering your society. You're not bettering yourself. You're not bettering others. So why do you have this privilege? Why do you deserve this privilege and nobody else does? Hmm? It's deeply shocking behavior. Deeply shocking behavior. But I don't go that far. Because ultimately, Kate has children too. Kate has family. And I will say this: no child deserves to read that type of content about their parent, especially if it is not true, especially if it is private. 'Cause, the press went too far. They've gone too far. They've been allowed to go too far. Because King Charles, and I always say, I leave the blame of this whole matter at the doorstep of the person that caused this entire mess, King Charles. King Charles's failure as a father and as a leader to curtail the press. Instead, he encouraged them to attack his own child. He gave them the audacity that they have to attack Harry, and by extension, his wife, and by extension, his children. That's why they go that far. That's why they've chased Harry and Meghan to Montecito. Because why the hell am I reading that the press is at Montecito? What are you doing there? Why are they going around asking people about Meghan and Harry? Why? What is wrong with you? There is no reason you need to be doing that with private citizens. Harry and Meghan do not work for the British Royal family anymore. Why are you in Montecito? Why are you interviewing neighbors about them? Why are you looking for Meghan's brick and mortar business? Why are you looking for how to get information about Meghan's Netflix deal? Meghan is a private citizen. Why are you buying her copyright to know what Azeva is going to be selling? The same thing for Harry. Why are you looking for where he is in the UK when he visits? How is that your business? Ladies and gentlemen, we need to call them out. Stop engaging with their content. I don't care how salacious the headline is. Don't click on it. Block them. When you starve them of articles, they will stop. Because if they aren't making money from it, what's the point? We have an obligation. You can't come here and complain that you don't like how Harry and Meghan are being harassed, but you're clicking on articles that harass them. You're following people that harass them. You are going back and forth with bots. Whenever I see a stupid comment, the first thing I do before I go and check, is it a bot? You can always tell when you're talking to a bot. As soon as it's a bot, I just block the whole thing. Stop engaging with these articles. The journalists are intentionally trying to rage bait you so that you engage on their page and they make money. And if they see that it works, they will not stop doing it. So we also have to regulate ourselves, guys. So I'm going to play us some articles of the day that I'm going to drag the hell out of. Look, not drag. I'm going to. Yeah, well, I am going to drag. Let me not lie. I'm not getting soft. I'm going to drag the hell out of Billy Idol and his wife because what do you mean? They have just been terrorizing people in Scotland and I don't understand why. So I'm going to play some video articles from the case over the past few days because I was trying to play it on Wednesday, but I couldn't get any. Shout out to Josephine, Glowly, and other squaddies because the way they are able to capture the information, it makes it possible for me to play it from X without any hopefully any demonetization. But I have to be careful though. So I'm going to play it.
It looked like he was on the verge of tears today as he gave evidence in his case against the publishers of the Daily Mail, saying they have made my wife's life an absolute misery. Harry described being cross-examined during the proceedings as a horrible experience and said he just wanted an apology and accountability. Associated newspapers have strongly denied any.
I'm going to keep on playing some more videos, guys. Please continue to like the live. We're liking the live so that we can get algorithm popping, y'all. We're trying to get more people on the live, guys. Please engage with the live. Send out likes, super chats, likes if that's what you can do. Send out likes, This one I liked because it's very interesting. People were running to come and see Harry appear at the Royal Courts of Justice, which I thought was cute. See all the people that came to see him in the rain, because it's been raining a storm in the UK this week. Paparazzi, photographers, everyone, fans, just randoms, excited to see Harry. See. Do you see that? They didn't have to bribe anybody or go to any fantastical part of the UK begging for people to show up for them. Just randoms who left their work. Of course, they joined the paparazzi, but just randoms walking on the street. See? And the fact that the IG of the mayor of London posted this, by the way, just goes to show. At the second least favorite royal, according to the emotional support polls of the entertainment channel called GB News. Because let's get it very clear, GB News is not a news channel. It is entertainment. It is like Fox News. They don't report news. I want you to understand that. So let's watch some more.
Let's move on to other news now. In emotional exchanges at the High Court today, the Duke of Sussex said his wife Meghan's life had been made an absolute misery by tabloid coverage. Prince Harry was giving evidence in the case. He and 6 other high-profile figures are bringing against the publishers of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday. Under cross-examination by lawyers of Associated Newspapers Limited, the Prince insisted that he did not have leaky social circles. Associated Newspapers, for its part, denies all allegations of unlawful information gathering methods such as phone tapping and voicemail hacking. John Ray was in court.
There is no love lost between the Prince and the papers he's suing. Sources close to Harry accuse his opponents of dirty tricks in bringing forward by a day his moments in the witness box, something they denied. But rancour set the tone for an emotional confrontation at the High Court.
How are you feeling, sir?
He was, it turned out, in fighting form. Harry complains about 14 articles published over 12 formative years of his life. The product, he argues, of unlawful activity. He said he hated being forced to perform in front of the media, knowing what horrendous stories were being written, that his life was commercialised for their gain. He said he felt upset speaking of his then-girlfriend, Chelsea Davy. In his witness statement, he'd argued this sort of intrusion was terrifying. It made her feel like she was being hunted. The Mail's barrister insisted the stories were sourced from among Harry's friends and acquaintances, but Harry hit back. When you're in a situation like this, the moment something private is out, your circle of trust and knowledge decreases over time. My social circles were not leaky. In previous contests here with Britain's tabloid press, Prince Harry has claimed victories over the publishers of the Mirror and the Sun. But here today, he is finding out just how hard Associated Newspapers is prepared to fight to defend its reputation. More than once, the judge has warned him not to argue the case, but to answer the questions. For Harry, it's personal. In his witness statement, he claims details of a private conversation with his brother about pictures of his dying mother, used by Italian media, were part of another male story. They were plainly listening into calls as well as spending large sums on private investigators, he said. To do that is simply shameful. To publish it, I feel, is beyond cruel. Harry left court all smiles. But at the end of his evidence, he looked on the verge of tears, telling the judge, "They've made my wife's life an absolute misery. There are weeks of evidence and months of judicial deliberation due before we know who won this round of the Prince versus the press." John Ray, ITV News at the High Court.
Well, our Royal Mr. Chris Ship is here. You were in court all day today, weren't you, and before. What are your thoughts on what you saw?
Well, I thought it was going to be all day, Mary, but it wasn't in the end. Court 76, Harry was really there pretty much for just 2 hours while he took questions. To be fair, it was tense and frosty between him and the barrister Anthony White on behalf of Associated Newspapers from the very outset. But actually, Harry gave quite a bullish performance, certainly compared to the one he gave when he took the Mirror Group to court a couple of years ago. But I saw him, a few times he was like swinging in his chair, almost as if his kind of anger towards Associated Newspapers was sort of seeping out of his body language, no matter what his mouth was actually saying. And then you got to the point that John was just talking about at the end, where he's speaking about Meghan. He knew that his evidence was coming to an end. And I think it was at that point he couldn't control his emotions anymore. And that's when his face went a bit red. He said, "Look, they've made my wife's life a misery," and he bit his lip and couldn't hold back the tears. Do you know what? It was the case for the Mail today to try and say, "Look, your friends were leaky. We spoke to press officers. That's the job that we do." But it was acrimonious at the start, and it was acrimonious at the end as well today.
It does irritate me. I didn't know Chris Ship was talking. I had no idea he was talking. Asshole. I don't like this man because he's just here for the drama. And to be fair to Chris, though, he's messy on both sides. If I had known he was going to talk, I wouldn't have played that video. I don't like him. Ugh. I don't like him. I think he's overly dramatic. Kind of annoyed that I played him now. But anyway, let's continue. That's why you saw me rolling my eyes when he started talking. Oh, you can see the body language is acronym. Shut the fuck up, Chris. Ooh, this one I like because they talk about Katie Nichols.
He said they had made his wife's life an absolute misery. Prince Harry and 6 other high-profile figures have accused Associated Newspapers of unlawful information gathering.
Yeah, that's a lie. If you're lining up to defend yourself in court, then I look forward to you coming on the witness stand and defending yourself. Then I look. You guys heard him. He said they're all clamoring to come and defend themselves, and I look forward to seeing you on the witness stand. With Becky English, Katie Nichols, Charlotte Griffith, Barbara Jones. I look forward to seeing all of you on the stand defending yourself. And I wanted to just quickly play this analytics. Yes, it's Sky News. Yes, they are shit, but let's listen to them.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot has been made of the fact that yesterday, Anthony White Casey for Associated Newspapers was supposed to do opening statements for 2 days, and he only did 2 hours, which pushed Prince Harry into the box a day early. And this is a technique that can be used to try and rattle a witness. And then today, interesting that they only cross-examined Harry for 2 hours. Now, in my experience, if you have a witness on the ropes, you keep going. He was due to be cross-examined for a day, and they took him out. They pulled him early because I think Harry was doing well, actually. Now, I think what a lot of people think about Harry is that he's a playboy and he's not very bright, but actually, he's intelligent, he's articulate, he's genuine, he comes across genuinely, and also he knows these issues inside out. He's lived this case, and that makes, in my experience, for a very compelling witness. And I think that although there were no hammer blows landed by either side today, I think Harry held up well enough that they thought, this is damaging to us. And he said a few things. For example, he said, I feel like they were trying to drive me to drink and drugs to make more press out of me. He talked about the misery inflicted on Meghan and started choking up. This is the kind of emotional stuff that cuts through to the public. And I think maybe there was a tactical decision by Associated's lawyers that this isn't going well, we should pull him out early so he doesn't do any more.
Fair enough. That makes sense. And I think everybody, as you've noticed, everybody is focusing on the fact that he got emotional about Meghan, and it really does irritate me that they're acting like it's surprising. You're always publishing nonsense about Meghan. Why are you people acting like as if it's a big deal that he would be emotional about the way you talk about his wife? The hell's wrong with you people? And yeah, this was very nice from one of the Sussex squad. Shout out to you, KMWW Brazen Hussy. She, the argument always is Meghan and Harry were left the royal family because they wanted privacy, even though they have categorically come out to say that is not true. A lot of the Rangers like to pretend like they didn't release that statement. But then they always say things like, have you guys heard them say things like, oh, she brings it on herself, Meghan, or he brings it on himself, Harry. I remember there was a time after the Oprah interview and the documentary, we didn't hear about Harry and or Meghan for like over a year or so. This is Harry and Meghan out of the public eye for quite some time. Look at all the articles that they released about them in that time, by the way. Sorry, guys. Oh, I hate when you do this. 1 second, guys. Let me find it again. Bear with me. This is what I'm saying. What Elon Musk has done to this X platform, he won't see heaven now. Just made this thing difficult to use. I was trying to expand the image of the thing. I don't know why it brought me to my homepage. It wasn't working like this before. This is why when people say, "Oh, pay to use it," I'm like, I would rather die. Ugh, let me try that again. Uh-huh. Okay. So this is just, I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can. These are all the articles they released about Harry and Meghan when Harry and Meghan went quiet. They were posting things about Harry and Meghan daily after they went quiet for like a year or so. Didn't hear anything from them, didn't see bim from them. Look at all the articles they posted. All these articles, all of them. And do you guys remember when we were seeing a lot of Harry, but we weren't seeing Meghan? Probably because she was filming her TV show with Love Meghan, and they went to release a whole front page on the Telegraph. Where is Meghan? All of them won't see heaven. That's all I have to say. So yeah, let me close this for Harry and say this. I don't know. The case is supposed to run for 9 weeks. Personally, I don't think it will run that long. I could be wrong though. I don't think we will hear anything about the outcome until maybe summer. Because if they still have 2 months of deliberation of the trial to go, and the jury needs to go, and the judicial team need to go away, go through all the articles of evidence, go through case law, do all that stuff, we may not hear back until summer. But I'm hoping that everybody that brought the Daily Mail to court, I hope all of them get their compensation. I hope the journalists named lose all credibility in the British media, because God knows that they don't have credibility outside the British media. I hope all of them lose all the Substack, speaking opportunities, YouTube channel, TikTok pages they have. I hope people just go there to drag them, frankly. And yeah, like I said, stop engaging with this content. You don't like them, then let them go bankrupt. Let them struggle. If the government will not step in and hold these people accountable, then we, the people, need to hold them accountable. So yeah. Now that we're done with Harry and Meghan, for now, I'll continue to keep you guys in the loop with what's going on. Come and see some clownery. So, you know, guys, I mentioned that Billy Idol and Skeletor went to harass people in Scotland with their royal tours because they were running out of London because Harry was here. And this is Kate, for show, of course, pretending to run to meet a fan. I want you, see. What was the point of this now? From from what I was made to understand, that was staged. Apparently, that woman is a known Kate ass kisser, and they wanted they wanted the graphics, because for the past few days, Billy Idol and Skeletor have been terrorizing people in Scotland, and the one thing that came out of it was the Not My King protesters shouting and heckling them. So they wanted some good press, you know. So they found somebody, and Kate ran to go meet her. And then, did you know what a Sussex squad member went to do? So apparently in Belfast, when Meghan went to Belfast, she did something similar to meet a fan. Check it out. So this is Meghan doing it. So what they are saying is, it's very possible they planted this person there so that Kate will have somebody to run to. Knowing the British royal family, I kind of believe it, yes. This is the type of nonsense they will do. See how she's shaking hands with everybody here? So somebody said that Kate ignored. I think there was a lady here in a wheelchair. This is how you know it was fake. Because there was a lady in a wheelchair. Why didn't she run to go and greet that one? See. Apparently in the crowd there was somebody in a wheelchair. She didn't bother to run to go and greet that one. So I thought that was funny. Yeah, there was somebody here that she ran to meet. She didn't see this girl. She didn't see the girl in the wheelchair, but she ran to meet the obvious plant that was there. Now, I don't know. Let me be very clear. I don't know. I'm going by what people have said. They said this lady that she ran to meet is someone that is known to her and known to the royal known to her as a fan. So this was all for optics, I guess. Again, I don't know. I'm just going by what the internet is saying. So that was funny to me. Oh, Kate. We've already spoken about William saying that he wanted to support British pubs. So I was like, okay, so now he's supporting British pubs. I'm not gonna bore you today talking about that. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm going to play Lorraine. Let me just play Lorraine.
Times at the High Court. He is the latest high-profile witness in the privacy case against the publishers of the Daily Mail. Well, our Russell is here. He was actually very calm and measured. I thought he would be angrier in a sense, but clearly he's been thinking about it. But then he did get emotional when he talked about his wife.
He absolutely did, and I think that was the big surprise. As you say, this has been a long time coming. It's sort of the biggest trial out of all the other ones he's had over the last couple of years, and this case against Associated Newspapers, publishers of the Daily Mail and the Mail Online, is very, very personal, because the allegations are that the organisation used private investigators to tap into every facet of his life, and he was very, very emotional. He was saying that they continue to come after me. They've made my wife's life a misery, and he actually had to be brought back on track by the judge several times. The judge was saying to him, you just got to answer the questions here, so take the emotion out of it, whilst he was being cross-examined. So it'd be interesting to see where it sits, because Harry's been here all week. He's attended every day. He gave a day's worth of evidence. He's going to be there again today. Liz Hurley is giving evidence later on today, and he's going to be showing up in support. And the trial is listed for 9 weeks. Can you believe? It's extraordinary.
Is he going to be here for 9 weeks?
No, he won't. He'll be heading back, and then one would imagine he may come over for a judgment at a later stage. But it's been a very, very interesting series of events.
And the thing about it is as well, very difficult, I would imagine, for both of them, but particularly for Meghan Markle, to listen to all of this about his former girlfriends, women that he clearly loved very much. I know it was a long time ago and he's moved on, but to listen to that must be hard for both of them.
Well, he was talking about sort of raking over old coals, if you will. He was very, very passionate, speaking about how the Daily Mail had written stories about his late mother, and how both he and William had felt very, very upset at that. And you absolutely have sympathy with him in that sense. I mean, Harry's life, in his view, has been absolutely picked apart since he was born. And whereas other members of the family, never complain, never explain, take it on the chin at some quarters, use the media for your advantage with others. But Harry obviously has a very, very different side of things.
He does. And Associated Newspapers deny any wrongdoing. They're putting up a very robust defence. And as you say, it's going to be on for weeks and weeks. Is he going to see his family? Is he going to see his father? Is he going to... I think relations with his brother are not in a good place, shall we say?
Bottom, I would say.
I think so. I don't know if there's any coming back from that. But you would think he would pop in and see his dad.
Well, you would do, because last September when he was here, he managed to see the King for about an hour, popped over for a bit of tea. It's astonishing, really, isn't it? You look at this family having to make appointments to see your own father. Now, look at the evidence this week. The King and Queen were both in Scotland. Prince and Princess of Wales were in Scotland as well. That distance is much more metaphorical than it is physical at times. Prince William announced a major tour to Saudi Arabia yesterday, just after minutes after Harry had given evidence. So, listen, the relationship is so fractious at the moment. I think, especially.
I'm so sorry for subjecting all of you to that. And did you notice that this stupid woman, of course, because it's Lorraine, and just a reminder, Lorraine, her show, right, has been reduced. They're about to cancel it, so we will not need to be hearing from this stupid woman much longer. But notice how, of all things to focus on, it was his ex-girlfriend. It just goes to show you how stupid, vapid, and just an absolute waste of space Lorraine is, calling Meghan Markle cow. I hope I never have to see your stupid Scottish ass again, Lorraine. I'm never going to waste my time with rassholes. There's no need. But yeah, you can see how they remixed the thing, saying that Harry was calm, but he didn't get emotional until when it's very clear that Harry was quite irritated with the whole thing, saying that the judge was the way they report information, the fact that they don't even have to worry about telling the truth, because who's going to check me, boo? It's just one of the things that frustrates me about the British media. But then again, like I said, Lorraine's show has been cancelled, so I just wanted to do one last one for her, because I'm hoping I never have to hear from that stupid woman again. But yeah, these are all the articles I have. They've spoken about Prince William going to waste everybody's time in Saudi Arabia for some reason. No, I don't know why he's going there. I'm not particularly sure why he's going there. I think what happens, I think we can all agree with Prince William, whenever he sees Harry getting any type of good press, he always tries to find a way to make himself be seen. And don't forget, Rebecca English actually gave us a bit of an insight. Oh, thanks, Fresh Face. Rebecca English gave us a bit of an insight into the fact that William has sent a number of requests to visit places. Many of them have not responded, because why is William coming here? It's probably their question. And I'm sure Saudi Arabia said, okay, fine, sure, I guess, let him come. So Saudi Arabia being the one that actually agreed is probably why it's in the news. We know that, of course, if instead of focusing on Prince William's royal tour, they will most likely be waiting for news about Harry and Meghan. So if Meghan decides to post an Instagram post on the day that William is touring, the pointless trip he's going on will no longer be news. So I didn't waste my time going to find out what he was going to do in Saudi Arabia. William isn't doing anything, so there's no need wasting time trying to understand why he's going there in the first place. Let me see if there's any other tea for us, guys. One last thing I want to talk about Meghan, then I think that's all we have for the week. Yeah. So something came out a few days ago that I was like, I don't know if I believe. Well, anyway, I'll just tell you what I heard. And again, I don't know if I trust how this information was shared, because it came out on People, and I don't know where they got that information from. I'm not sure if it came directly from Meghan's camp, but apparently we may not be getting a season 3 of With Love, Meghan. I don't know if this is like a full season. Now, apparently the comment was Meghan wants to concentrate on building out her brand. I don't know if this is true, but if it is true, I was very disappointed, frankly, because I was hoping that we were getting a new season this year, and I wish we went back to normal programming. Honestly, I wish we went back to normal programming where every year we got at least one season of something. So I'm very annoyed. It doesn't mean that she's not going to release one anytime again. It just means that they haven't filmed anything. And I want to clarify again, I don't know if this has come directly from Meghan's camp. It might be them Is this, So I don't know. I don't know. I'm quite disappointed, to be honest, because I was looking forward to another season of With Love Megan. I'm hoping it's not true though. Oh, the government sent him Spidey. Really? To go and do what? It wouldn't surprise me if he bullied them and said, "Send me, send me, send me, send me." So yeah, he probably whined at them to death. They probably thought, well, if we send him somewhere, what's the harm he could do? I don't know. I really don't care, because God knows unless there's something funny that happens on that tour, I may briefly mention it, but I'm not going to cover it, so I don't care. And yeah, this is your week, guys. I know that there's a time differential. Something may still come out about Megan, from the US, but I'm in the UK, 7 p.m. It's 7:30 p.m. So yeah, let me look at the chat. What's happening in the chat? Will the powers that be save those 3 women that were involved in the illegal acts, or will they get the law? I don't know, I don't know if they will be saved. I don't have any illusions about the British monarchy. I've always told you guys, the monarchy doesn't care to protect anybody that is not the heir, or the sitting king, or the sitting monarch. So I would be shocked if they did anything to protect Rebecca English, Katie Nichols. These are just random, desperate hanger-ons who have been sucking the toes of the royal family. And this is the thing about social climbing. A lot of these people, because have you noticed that the people that cross the line, they are all women? Have you noticed that, guys? All women. All women. These are the ones that cross the line. Not that the men don't go too far, but the ones that really crossed the line back then were women. And I think it feeds into this narrative I've always had. Somebody was saying that all 3 women probably had crushes. I wanted to get access to Harry or William by any means necessary. I would say I kind of agree, because around the time this thing happened, right, William was dating Kate. He wasn't available, right? And the likelihood of them having access to William, the future heir, was almost unheard of. But Harry, because of how they spread this information that, oh, Harry is the party boy or Harry is a playboy, they probably wanted their time to shine with Harry. It wouldn't surprise me if all 3 had crushes on him. Social climbing ambitions. That's why they're all bitter and pressed about Meghan. Charlotte Griffiths is always reminding us that why is Meghan always saying my wife, my husband, my love, my love. That's a sign of a jealous bitch, right? So maybe they all thought they had a chance with Harry, which is just, ew. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that Megan has a new format. That's why I'm kind of hoping that she does this with TikTok, where she can be releasing short videos, or even with YouTube. I would be into it. Open a YouTube channel, release videos of yourself cooking food. I would be such a fan. I would love it so much. I would be there every day. Like, yes, girl. Even if it's just like 5-minute recipes that she can do with the camera or something. But yeah, if she goes on those platforms, I'll definitely follow her on there. I'm not on Instagram. So yeah, very disappointed. I'm hoping we get With Love Megan mini bites, maybe like in a garden, or hell, even Martha Stewart, where she's just giving us home recipes. I would really like that. That would be great, actually. Wow. Fresh Face, thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. And yeah, there's nothing else to report at this time, ladies and gentlemen. I will be going live again on Monday, unless if anything major happens, I'll post a short. But I am going to release some videos about Katie Nichols and Charlotte Griffiths, similar to the one I did for Becky Big Back, because these bitches deserve to be dragged.